bonjour les amis. Oh my goodness, the soccer game. Somebody just scored. Welcome to France, welcome to Saumur in the Loire Valley. I am taking you on an evening stroll tonight. I hope you can hear me okay. England is playing against Spain tonight. It's the final of the Euro, and I think just as I hit live, one of the teams just scored. So we're going to see who it was. Bonjour les amis. Thanks for being here tonight. It's a lovely night in Saumur in the Loire Valley. I'm glad you can join me. I'm going to take you, as I was saying, on a lovely nighttime stroll if you'll join me. I hope it doesn't get too dark at times. But here, in the heart of the former medieval part of town, La Place Saint-Pierre, St. Peter's Square. We have one here too. You see St. Peter's Church here. The light is bright, so we should be fine. This is a crazy place tonight. Of course, it's July 14th, but all the restaurants are still open. Lots of people, and what they're doing here is there is a screen you can see. There is a screen on the right hand side and they're watching the soccer game, le foot as we say in Europe. I'm going to try and get us to a less crowded place. Pardon, merci. Pardon, merci. Voilà. Beautiful. Here's a good restaurant for you if you come to Saumur. I want to enjoy some nice bistro food, Les Tontons. And now that it's a little bit quieter here, I can show you the gorgeous facade of l'Église Saint-Pierre, St. Peter's Church, very old church, dates back to the 12th, 13th century. But this facade, of course, was updated much later, you can tell. Neoclassical lines, probably 17th century as I recall. It's very easy to see when you come to Saumur that this square here is a popular place for locals and visitors alike. Bonsoir les amis. It's surrounded by gorgeous buildings, trees as well, which is lovely. There's a great market on Saturdays here in this neighborhood. And like I said, restaurants and bars. Bonsoir les amis. I'm glad to see you here. Thank you for joining me on July 14th, the French national holiday. Temperatures are still pretty warm. I want to show you this thing they did here under the trees. It's lovely with all these colorful ribbons. You know I like colors. Look how pretty this is. And look at this crowd, it's nuts. You see the game is still going on. I see the screen in the background over there. So what I'd like to do is take you, we are now in what would have been the lower part of town in the Middle Ages. And Saumur was for a long time a walled city. There were several generations of walls, just like in Paris. I'd like to take you to the upper part, where I'm hoping we'll have great views on the city, even at night. Trying to show you here. Buildings are quite high. We have a couple of really nice homes here. Half-timbered homes. Cuckoo! Half-timbered homes. Beautifully restored. The styles are quite different, but you can see they've done a great job with them, and they're your typical medieval homes, and very high, very narrow. They used to pay taxes on the surface they occupied on the ground floor here, and typically where this restaurant is today would be the shop. Les shops was the French word, les shops. You can see where the word shop comes from. And then in the upper floors the family would live. And they were all pretty tight, pretty narrow, those homes, just like the one on the right here. Thank you for joining me. If you just popped in, this is Vero, France with Vero. I haven't done a live virtual tour for quite a while, and I'm glad, especially on Facebook, so I'm glad that you're here tonight. I thought it'd be fun to do this again, just like in the good old days when I live streamed every week between the French lockdowns, during the French lockdowns, in fact, in 2020 and 2021. You know, I have a YouTube channel where you can find the replays of all these tours where I took you around Paris, and around La Belle France as well. Lots of people here tonight. So July 14th in France, you know, it's part celebration. There's a ball dancing, in fact, by the river. So the Loire River is in this direction where I came from. There's a ball tonight with a live band playing right by the river. So people do that on July 14th. The balls can be in big cities on the 13th, like in Paris, like the Fireman's Ball. Here's a place where locals meet here. You see Café de la Ville. You can see this is a place for locals. It's got a TV too for the game. Hey Sandra, good to see you. Yeah, I know you just moved here. That's wonderful. Congratulations. Good choice. So I'm going to take you uphill. So this means you get to hear me breathe heavily. This section here, this little corner, this courtyard cour, is called La Boile, B-O-I-L-E. You can see that old wall in the back. Well, back in the 11th century, there was a wall surrounding this part of town. Then there was another wall that was added in the 13th century. The city kept expanding, of course, and then most of them were destroyed eventually. Same story everywhere. But you can see traces of those medieval towns. So I'm going uphill now. Now, word of caution, cell signal should be okay. I have 5G all the way, but it gets iffy sometimes. The good thing about Facebook is that if we do get cut off, I will hop back on as soon as I have a new signal. So don't despair if you lose me. Wait a few minutes and then hop back on, and I'll be on the France with Vero Facebook page. And I'll just keep live streaming for the next 30 minutes or so until I get to the top of this hill where I want to show you something. Look at those stairs. I'm going to get my workout tonight. Thank you for the stars, Marcy. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, let's go up this thing. Lots of young people. Merci, thank you everyone. I see your messages. Bonne fête nationale. Okay. When I was here a couple of years ago, I live streamed going downhill. I'm doing the opposite tonight. I'm ambitious. And I told you about this home. It dates back to the 15th century. And it's been completely restored and rebuilt à l'identique, identical the way it was, by the famed compagnons du Devoir et du Tour de France. They are still in today. I saw them earlier. They are the top craftsmen in France, and you know they work on Notre Dame as well. I wonder if I turn around if you could see. It's getting pretty dark here. Let's see. The sun set just over there. You'll see at least the silhouette of the house, which is lovely. Look. Oh, they just turned on the light. Did they hear me? Thank you, Compagnon du Devoir. Thank you very much. Thank you for the stars. All right, so I have different options to go up. I think I'll just take this one. Doesn't matter. There are stairs and there's also a ramp. Now, those of you who've been to Saumur before know exactly where I'm headed. I need to reach a high point tonight because it is July 14th. Look at the moon. You see it? And on July 14th, in many towns, there's a fireworks show. Not in my city, not in Tours. Our mayor is against them. They scare the birds on the Loire River and he doesn't want them. So, I came to Saumur in the hope I could catch one here. And maybe I'll be able to show you a little bit of it if I make it to the top in time. Bonsoir. Bonsoir. They're younger and faster. Allez les filles, le rythme est bon. Le rythme est bon. Okay, we're almost there. You're going to see better in a second. So it gets dark super late in France in the summer. For those of you who've been here, you know this. Because it's, what is it now? Almost 10:40 p.m. And the sun set barely 30 minutes ago. And the days I know are already getting shorter. But it's still bright enough. Here we go. Friends, I made it. So there's a reason everybody's going up there. That's because while a lot of people will be staying by the Loire River to catch the fireworks, the brave ones have come here at the Château de Saumur to see it from above. And that is my plan for us tonight. Again, if we get cut off at any point, no worries. I'll hop back on. Feels very medieval, doesn't it? We're going through it's almost like a drawbridge. In fact, there is another one on the other side. You can see the steeple of the church we left earlier, St. Peter's. You see it on the left there? And I see a bunch of young kids sitting on that little hill on the right, ready for the show. Saumur. So many good reasons to come to Saumur if you haven't yet. It's small, 16,000 people live hereabouts, but not too small. It's got lots of history and architecture. It's got great wine. We are in the Saumurois. Vineyards all around us, if you could see them in the daytime. Saumur is famous for red wines like the Saumur Champigny, made with mostly with Cabernet Franc. It's also famous for its sparkling wines, whites and rosés. Great food. He wasn't as brave as we were, was he? Now look at what we see in front of us. Look at this. This is the mighty Château de Saumur. This is one of the last Gothic castles in the Loire Valley. As you know, I've taken you to quite a few of them, and you've seen them already. A lot of our chateaux in the Loire Valley are Renaissance style, which means they came later. They were old medieval fortresses that were eventually updated to be comfortable, to be pretty nice living places with big windows. You've seen a lot of them in the Loire Valley, but this one, though it was heavily modified over time, there's been a chateau here since the 10th century. In fact, this building right here in the dark behind me, which is a restaurant now, used to be a monastery at first. This one, a little dark. So this chateau was transformed. First, we had the powerful lords of Blois who fought over the chateau with the lords of Anjou. The famous Fulkenera. Anjou eventually won. You had the Plantagenet dynasty. You know, their necropolis is not too far from here, Abbaye de Fontevraud. I took you there recently on a virtual tour, and you can watch it on my YouTube channel, France with Vero. In the 13th century, a powerful French king, Philippe Augustus, a builder king. You may remember him as the king who surrounded Paris with walls as he went fighting in the Crusades. Philippe Augustus got the chateau back, brought it back in the royal domain. But then eventually it was the Dukes of Anjou who developed it in the 14th and 15th century. It's fabulous. I've been inside a few times. There's a museum inside, and it's a really beautiful chateau. So if you get a chance, the entrance is right here, And it's like a drawbridge. It is a drawbridge. You can kind of feel for what it was like back in the day. The moat, of course, is dry now. Look at that. My hotel happens to be right below the chateau. It's my favorite hotel in Saumur. It's called Anjou. I highly recommend it. It sits in a gorgeous building. The service is wonderful. And what a location. You can walk everywhere from there. They have a parking lot as well, swimming pool, heated pool, a spa, wonderful things. Anjou is the name. Look at that. Merci, Janet. Bonne fête, les amis. Now, you know, we celebrate July 14th, of course, our national holiday, but it wasn't always July 14th. That happened only in 1880s. But from that day forward, this is when we started celebrating our national holiday on that date. Now, what is July 14th in France? Well, it doesn't celebrate or commemorate the storming of the Bastille, which is why the French smile when people call it Bastille Day. Originally, it did celebrate a gathering that happened exactly 1 year after the storming of the Bastille in 1790. And it was a big celebration on the Champ de Mars, where we have the Eiffel Tower today. The king was there, representations of all the French were here, the royal family, and it was a bit of a unity celebration. And it sent out a unity message, so it was a positive thing, and that is what July 14th celebrates. Lafayette was there as well. I'm going to walk around here so you can see the chateau a little better. Now in France we celebrate, it's not common that countries celebrate their national holidays with military parades as we do. You know, the big one in the Champs-Élysées, of course today it was on Avenue Foch because of the big mess created for the Olympics in downtown Paris. They couldn't use the Champs-Élysées and especially the Place de la Concorde today. So it was a little different. But the military parade is really part of it. It's a bit symbolic. It's the army, the armed forces that come and pay respect to the French government. That's why they always end at Place de la Concorde, where the president typically stands with his government. It's also a way for French people to admire their troops, which they help finance, I suppose. So we do the military parade. We do the balls, dancing and celebrating, and you see entire families out. Look at that sunset, folks. It's glorious. Again, this is the steeple, I should say, spire steeple of St. Peter's Church, where we started earlier. This is gorgeous. I don't know if you can see, but there's quite a few people here. I'll get closer so you can tell. It's a lovely summer night. We haven't had that many so far. It was very hot today. It's probably going to be the hottest day in the week. Look at all these people. You see their heads? Right in the sunset. More here, everywhere. That's right, Sandra. The Cadre Noir de Saumur. Another thing Saumur is famous for. You know, this was a very successful in the 16th and 17th century, this was a very successful Protestant city. In fact, they called it the Second Geneva. And when Louis XIV, the Sun King, decided to revoke a law his grandfather, Henry IV, had passed in favor of religious tolerance, a lot of Protestants left France, the Huguenots. And so that was a big blow to local economies, especially here in Saumur. And the city had to wait till the 18th century. And at that point, a minister of Louis XV, the Comte de Choiseul, the Count of Choiseul, brought here what would become a very big military presence. And that really helped the economy of the city. The French cavalry was brought here. They built barracks, they built stables for the horses. And Saumur became a major center in Europe for horsemanship. In fact, the National French School of Horsemanship is in Saumur. And the Cadre Noir that we just mentioned, noir for black, cadre like a frame, the Cadre Noir is an elite corps. In fact, those are the instructors, those riders you see in the Cadre Noir. they are world famous, are the instructors that work for that school, that horsemanship school. You have never seen so many beautiful, gifted horses, and the men who ride them as well. So today, like Sandra pointed out, they were in Paris, and they're the ones who gave the Olympic flame to President Macron. And they were also here part of a show, because the main role of the Cadre Noir now is to really showcase French horsemanship in many public celebrations and shows, and show the public what they can do. So lots to do and see here in Saumur. And if you are into military history, of course, there's a famous museum, a museum of armored vehicles, the Musée des Blindés, which is a few minutes from this chateau. It's not very far from here. So lots to do and see. So we're now waiting for the fireworks to start, and it's not far off, because if I could read my watch, I think we're about 10 minutes or less, 10 minutes away. So I'm going to wait here because, let's see, because the Loire River is down below. I don't know if I'll be able to squeeze in. People are waiting, so I'm going to lift my hand like this. Do you see the Loire down below? Right there. And so on the left is a bridge, Le Pont César. He's named after one of the engineers who created bridges for Louis XV. Louis XV, bless his heart, was kind of stuck between a very famous great-grandfather, the Sun King, and Louis XVI, who famously was executed during the French Revolution. So very few people know that he did a lot for the kingdom, Louis XV. And one of the things he did was to develop main roads and bridges all over the country. You know that big bridge I've shown you in Tours called the Whistle Bridge or Stone Bridge? It was built at about the same time that the Saumur Bridge was built. And he created a school, Les Ponts et Chaussées, Bridge and Roadways, which is one of the top schools in France. So the bridge is across those trees here. My finger's right there. So hopefully when the fireworks start, we'll be able to see it above. I'm going to go to the left here so there's a better view. And I'll let you watch the fireworks for a few minutes. Bonjour Lynn, welcome. Thank you for joining me today in Saumur. Lots of people here. That's right, liberté, égalité, fraternité. You see the Loire River down below? So the bridge is right there, and they're going to shoot either from the bridge or from the other side of the bridge. So we should be, this is a pretty good spot. Those are the brave ones. The other ones stayed down below by the riverbanks. Of course, a lot of restaurants are down there, so that helps. Maybe it's time to say a little hello, but it's so dark, I wonder if you're going to see me. Let's see. No, it's going to be too dark. Okay, I'll switch it around. I'm here incognito. So I came here this morning from Tours. It's about an hour's drive away. Very easy to get to. And I will be spending the night at the hotel. Might be a little late to drive home. And like I said, there is no fireworks in Tours this year, so I thought Saumur would be a much better idea. I'm glad I came here. I am a silhouette, Lisa, that's right. I like that, in the dark. A silhouette in the dark. Pretty earrings. You saw my earrings shine in the dark, Abby? That's what you did. All right, let's try to go down there, see what happens down there. I'm watching my step, I'll tell you that. It's pretty dark. I'll show you the chateau in the meantime. Ooh, here's a cool spot, friends. Look at that. I am going to stay right here. You know why? Because that's the bridge on the left with the lights on it. You see? And this is where they're going to shoot the fireworks. So we see the river. This is great. So now it's time almost. Let's see if they're on time or not. I'll just keep walking and I'll be back here. Yeah, it was a pretty sunset when you have such nice weather all day. It's really pretty. Okay, so this is really cool because these walls here are slits, you know, protective, defensive purposes. So you can't see anything. This gentleman is climbing so he can see above, but you can't see anything because this is where they would shoot arrows. You see? Look at that. Super tiny. And they're the same all the way. Oh, I won't lose my spot. In fact, there is another spot over there on the right, which I saw earlier today by the wall there. Don't worry. So the interesting part about the chateau is that it's a big rectangle with 4 towers, but this entire section here is missing because it collapsed years ago and they never rebuilt it. But back in the day, this would have been completely closed off here as well. I see a comment, I'm trying to read it. All right, look at all the people on the grass. I'll go back to my little spot. There are kids running around. Mayhem. Well, I'm not the only one here. Lots of brave people in Saumur. All right. All right, let's see. I think I shall stay right here. When you're short, you've got to go to a higher position. Huh? Yeah, I like it here. What do you think? Should be fine. The only issue is that it's hard to zoom on Facebook. I remember that much from our live streaming days. I wanted to start by the Loire River because it's so, it's really the lifeline of this entire valley and it's brought so much prosperity here. But it would have been a little challenging to come up. So we're waiting for the fireworks to start. It should be any second now. Hopefully they're on time. The sky is gorgeous. A peek at the chateau before they start. And the ball I heard down by the river is going to it's going to stop for 15 minutes during the fireworks and then they'll start dancing again. So the party I think is going to last a while. Friends. Here we go. And here you are in Saumur, enjoying the July 14 fireworks. I hope the screen shows you the colors. So far, they're not super bright colors. And I am switching hands. The pigeon just took off, he was scared. Hey, it ain't the Eiffel Tower, but it ain't too bad, is it? The gentleman said, okay, that's it, we're done, let's go. Everybody laughed. So when you do fireworks, there's always the part that everybody waits for. It's at the very end, and we call it le bouquet final. Bouquet, like a flower arrangement, final. So everybody waits for that. That's when they go all out. When I was a kid, I only really waited for that. You're welcome, Camilla. Glad you're enjoying it. Oh, wait. Whoop. The gentleman moved, so I moved too. No, that's not the finale yet. Not yet, you'll know when it is. I like to bring you with me. That's what I've been doing for years. Yeah, got some blues now. What a treat. I haven't seen a fireworks show for a while. Ooh, I like the big ones, don't you? Slowing down. Avec plaisir, Debbie. We don't do a lot of tours at night, so it's nice to do this for a change. That's right, Sharon. And you know, this is one of the perks too. It's that when you go outside Paris, it doesn't really feel very crowded, even on a busy day like this. Oh boy. I think they're ramping up, don't you think? We have sounds too. Avec plaisir, Marc. I want my bouquet final. I like the grand finale. Joyeux anniversaire à la belle France. Joyeuse fête nationale à tous. I know it's hard on the pets. It's very hard. My arm is getting tired. Yeah, you're welcome, Lisa. I don't think it'll be much longer. Yeah, it's going to wrap up. So I'll film until the end. Might as well. It's ramping up, I think. Pretend you are Lady Liberty, Jackie. Yes, that's right. She's been holding that torch for longer than I've been holding this camera. She must have developed some serious muscles. I'm definitely getting a workout. Here we go, here we go. Here we go, folks. Le bouquet final. At least I think so. No, I don't know. It doesn't look strong enough for a bouquet final. I think they can do even better. Maybe they just had to take a little sip of that delicious sparkling Saumur wine. Yes, it is fun, Lynn, you're right. It's fun when everybody's on at the same time. Yes, there should be a replay, Tracy, on the France with Vero Facebook page. Here we go. It's gotta be it. Or not. People are cheering down below. They might sing La Marseillaise, especially if they have enough wine or beer by the end of the night. I know, it's like you think it's the bouquet final and it's not. Oh, yeah, I'm so glad you guys are enjoying this. I mean, it's quite unique. I've never watched fireworks in Saumur, so it's unique for me too. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Now it's a good time to sing La Marseillaise, friends. Feel free. There we go. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. My favorite part. Thank you for the stars. Le bouquet final. Yeah, they're cheering down there. They're happy. Voilà, bravo! Bravo, bravo, bravo. Woo, let's see if I can reposition this baby. Woo, yeah, see, I knew it was going to do that because it was all twisted while I was holding it. Sorry about that. Peek at the chateau one last time. The mighty Château de Saumur. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I think you have, based on your comments. I really wanted to show you this. That is why I came here today. And now everybody's going to go downhill. They have different ways of doing this. There is actually a shortcut to my hotel. It's super dark, so I won't be able to film it. Look at all the people. Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo. So I wish I could come on camera. You know, I like to do this at the beginning and at the end at least. But it's too dark. You wouldn't see me. Except for my earrings, Abby, so that's not really fun. Well, I want to say thank you, friends. I'm going to stop right outside the chateau. I'll go stand outside the drawbridge there. It'll be prettier to wrap up. Give me a few more seconds and I'll take you there. And I want to say thank you for joining me tonight in Saumur. It looks like they're all taking my shortcut. It will be a crowd down that ramp. Well, win some, lose some. Huh? Sometimes the live streams work out great and sometimes they don't. That I've learned over the years. Oh yeah, I have a good spot to wrap up here. I'll do that in a second. Readjust the screen. There we go. Because it's really pretty. Wait, I'm going to turn around and I'll try and face the entrance. There we go. I'm going to go right here. Pardon, excusez-moi. Pardon. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Entering a medieval chateau. The Château de Saumur. Beautiful. Perfect way to end this. Thank you so much for joining me, friends. Continue enjoying your Sunday. It was a great celebration in Saumur all day, and I'm glad I was here and could share some of it with you. I'll be sharing some photos as well. later. À bientôt les amis. Don't worry, I'll be careful. As long as I'm not filming, I'll be fine. À bientôt. À bientôt et merci. Au revoir.